just tuned in, Violet right now is 2-0 in best of 3s, 4-1 in maps, and that was actually Mana's first loss, Ben, as Mana was 2-0-2-0, as he defeated Strelok and also defeated Lowly, I believe. Yes, and he did repeat Lowly in a ridiculous series, by the way. If you guys missed those games, you have to watch it.
Never ever won.
No.
One
You know,
of those
Ben,
games.
this doesn't happen very often, but I was watching those games and I said, you know what? I'm going to play a quick Heart of the Swarm game as that day with Froden and Grito broadcasting, because I said this game is over and I can squeeze in a game. And my game is done, and I suddenly see Mana with like a 60 supply lead. I was like, what on earth? How is that even possible? Then I watched the VOD and I'm like, oh, Lowly. Oh, Lowly, you didn't.
Holy lowly.
And in case you guys just tuned in and you have missed the start of the show, the first set of the day was Hero versus BC Cutie, where the first game was very exciting actually and quite a close game. BC played excellent, and in the second game of the second game of that series was a little bit more one-sided, as Hero just had a good read on the build order of BC and shut it down perfectly, and then even showed off a tiny little bit. Second series of the day was Strelok versus Gonzi. Strelok played some really good StarCraft, man. Got perhaps a little bit fortunate with the build orders he chose, but I felt his execution throughout the series was just better, and Strelok took out the Korean Terran Gonzi, which is very nice for Strelok, because he lost his first game of the season against Mana. So he's 1-1 in the league right now. Gonzi is 0-3. That's a little bit surprising. And our previous series was EG's the Muslim against QXC. Of course, QXC from Complexity. And the Muslim band does what he pretty much always does in the regular season of the NASL. He won his game.
That's exactly right. Great play from the Muslim. Great play from Strelok. And, of course, we can't undersell the play of Hero, which is always phenomenal. And here we are on Cloud Kingdom as Violet and Mana get into their second game after what was a very exciting game 1 on Entomb Valley.
Yep, so far standard build orders, of course, nothing funky is going on. You saw what I did there?
Nothing funky
Yes.
is going on. Funky, of course, the brother of Mal's Mana, living together with him over in Korea.
Big shout out to Funky in case he is watching.
Funky, the bodacious breakdancing brother.
Yes. Probably one of the most athletic guys. Man, I would love to see him challenge Froden in the Get Fierce contest.
I think Funky might be more fierce than Froden.
Yeah, I think so too. No, like Funky is probably the type of guy that you see in the gym. While normal people struggle with like pull-ups, he puts like his legs above the bar and then like pulls himself up like gymnastics
Funky
style.
starts in a pull-up position and he ends in a handstand.
Yes.
On top of the bar.
Yeah, exactly. Like suddenly, like Funky, you're up 5 feet.
Funky, why are you doing upside-down push-ups?
Funky, if you fall right now, it's gonna be a 15 feet drop. I hope you're aware of that. He's like, yeah, it's
There's
okay,
a
guys.
backflip off.
Yeah, lands perfectly. Gets 10-10 of the judge. Michaela just walks in.
Michaela's actually impressed.
Michaela is impressed by Mana's brother. Yes, guys, that's how it probably would go. We see Mana right now on 22 pros, while Violet is on 18. Of course, Violet is going up to 3 hatcheries. And Mana gets a good scout off though with his little probe. And gets the confirmation there is 3 hatch. Now, knowing Violet, Ben, it would be very weird if Violet would throw out some crazy cheese. It's actually kind of funny, guys, because if you...
Because a year ago.
Yeah, a year ago, Violet was like playing so different than any other Zerg out there. He was just refusing to go with this quick 3 hatch style. While a year ago might be... Well, yeah.
That's about right, man. He was really kind of... during his run through IM Sao Paulo, that was back in February?
Yes, February.
And that was kind of when he was starting to tighten up his play a little bit, but he still had that flair of
the 2 base,
really
quick gas timing. So Violet opens with speedlings because, and we never figured out because
Baneling 900 times against Terran.
Yeah, it was kind of funky, kind of funny back then. But nowadays Violet is a little bit more of your standard Zerg, but he's still an aggressive Zerg, Ben, and in general a very fun player to watch. You know, Ben, one thing that I really noticed is how stubborn Mana was with his wall-offs. Like every single time he removed the Zealot of his wall-off. I guess to perhaps let Immortals pass through, or just sentries that he eventually warped in and then warp through. But he made life so hard on himself, because every time Lynx would run by, he would have to warp in on the spot, and it was bound to go wrong once. Now I'm not sure if that decided the outcome of the game, because after that big push failed eventually, even though it was so close, I guess that's what kind of sealed it. But that run by definitely didn't help. And it was just weird, like Mana could have made life a little bit easier just by putting a Zealot on hold position and just leaving it there.
Got a lot of Lings in production right now for Violet Kev, who hasn't made the same number of drones that, well, I mean, I guess this is the same little flare of Zerglings just to deal with the initial Mana pressure.
Yeah, Violet wants to make sure he won't get surprised either, man, because he can't see the entire base. of mana, so he doesn't know how many gates are behind this. He's kind of forced to at least make a few units. Nice micro by Mana, but eventually this Zealot will fall.
Violet also skipping Zergling speed, getting layer first.
I got the hiccups, man. This is probably going to be nightmare.
Really?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
No, that's not funny.
I'm going to have fun with this. I read a really tragic news story the other day. It said
Well, Mana's doing a really good job, man. As picking up as many links as possible. As this Stalker right now has 5 kills already.
Tragic news story, Kev, was a U.S. soldier killed one of his friends because he was trying to cure his hiccups. He pointed a gun at his face to scare the hiccups out of him, but the gun went off and he shot it. It's terrible.
I have no idea how that can happen.
And it's really terrible, but it reminded me when I was a kid, my sister had the hiccups, and I shot my BB gun at her to make the hiccups go away. And my mom was so mad at me. She took my BB gun away, and I never saw it again.
See two Stalkers taking out one of these Overlords, as this Overlord will spot the remaining 3 gates. Now that allows me to tell my little Dagon story. You know, when I was very young, I used to play a lot with my brother. My brother was 4 years older. And we had these like fake guns, which make a little bit sound of when you would shoot them. But there was like some metal down the, let's say, where you grab it. How's it called? That part? The handle. Like there was some metal as well. And I was playing with my brother, but I was very young. And like he was shooting at me, and then I walked to him, and I grabbed the gun, and I hit it on his head like twice. And it actually, like I hit it, even though I was super young, like 3 or 4 years old, I hit him pretty hard, and he started bleeding. And my mom was like, Kevin, what did you do? I was like, wow, they do it in the movies too. And my mom was like, oh my God, you don't do that. And my brother made a fuss about it for forever.
So bad manner.
Yeah, I didn't know. No, I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Some serious Roach Ling aggression coming from Violet as Mana's trying to take a 3rd base. It's all going to come down to how he can.
He has a lot of sentries though, man, and this wall is going to help out. But he could definitely use a cannon or 2 and always leave at least 1 sentry over here, Mana. You have plenty of them. 1 sentry is not going to make the difference between holding here, but can make a world of difference over here.
We've got Violet splitting up his forces a little bit, working on these rocks at the front of the natural.
This is one of the first times in a long time when we see a Zerg reacting like this against quick 3 base of Protoss.
Yeah,
normally Zergs just kind of let it go.
This was the way to react to this a while ago, but then Protoss got so good at defending this kind of aggression.
A lot of roaches making their way up. Was it a cancel on the cannon? I don't think so.
I'm not sure. So many more roaches coming from Violet. He's going to try to poke forward. Will he be able to break this wall down?
I don't know. Violet is up 60 supply, Ben, but I feel that the positioning of Mana is really quite good, despite losing a few probes so far. Force field could go down.
Pretty nice force fields trapping some roaches there in the natural. At the same time, Violet still trying to be aggressive over at the 3rd base. Does manage to break through, though. Well, momentarily.
He's going to need another force field, though. He has to kind of reposition his army. That also means that he will most likely end up losing that Nexus, Ben. But Violet is going to lose a lot of roaches over here, but I guess it's still worth it.
When you look just resources invested, that's definitely a more cost-effective trade for Mana. However, we've got a Zerg player who's up a base, who has map control, who's getting a 4th, who's not trying to be cost-effective. He's trying to use his position to bully his opponent. It's working very well as he comes forward once again, and Mana not paying.
This is risky, though. Forces can go down. He's once more going to lose a lot of roaches and only take out buildings. I don't think that was a good move at all. He took out the gate and the pylon, but he lost a lot. Mana's just going to try to take this expand once more. He has the work account for 3 bases.
Energy right now, Kevin. He doesn't have any more force fields, and now the roaches and the lings are up on top of his units. And the Immortals are they're doing all this damage, but it's just not gonna matter. The lings absorbing damage, dealing damage, the roaches just killing everything.
Mana is still microing though, Ben. The Immortals did do a lot of damage, but the big problem is over here. Oh, he had a Colossus rallied in his natural. The Colossus was done already for a few seconds, I believe. Mana's gonna be forced to cancel this base once more, and he's just gonna GG.
Forced to tap out. Violet. Too strong. Takes down Mana 2-0. Very, very impressive play.
Yeah, solid. And surprising to see, because while we were talking a little bit about our childhood memories, 9 out of 10 times when Zerg see Protoss go up to quick 3 bases, they're like, sure, you go up to 3 base, I go up to 4 base, I have queens, I'm still going to outmine you. And this is basically a free Infested Broodlord pass, and if you want to have your 3 bases, that's all good with me. Violet doing it the old school way, man, just producing roaches and links, and I felt that Mana was doing a reasonable good job, but he was just never... Like, the best thing I think what Violet did is taking out those pylons all the time at that base. So that means no additional Zealot weapons and no cannons. The moment that Mana would have 2-3 cannons over there, he's safe forever.
Yep.
He has that good wall with the gates and his natural cannon behind it, sentry. But Violet, without really committing, took down those pylons. And I really think that's what made the difference.
Really, such a key point, man. Cloud Kingdom, one of the best maps in competitive play for Protoss players to take a quick third base on.
Yep.
And so very, very difficult for a Zerg to punish it in the way that Violet punished it. Like you said, normally we see the macro response. I'm going to make 100 drones. I'm going to make 100 spine crawlers. Good luck dealing with my broodlords and my infestors. But Violet goes the other way with it, turns on the hyper aggression, and he is one of the best players in the world at that kind of style.
So Violet 3-0 already been in the regular season. That also
Mana.
means, of course, $450 already. If you guys are not aware of this, the players get $150 for every single best of 3 they win in the regular season. So that's already quite reasonable.
Mana picks up his first loss of the season, but he's still one of the big names in the group, and I'm sure he'll continue to perform very well. That last game brought to you guys by Blizzard Entertainment. Of course, the partnership that we have with Blizzard is an important one because they do make the game, and they are the ones that say, hey, you guys can broadcast this stuff. So thank you, Blizzard, for all your support. We're going to play a very short commercial break. We'll be back with our closing thoughts on the day. Don't go anywhere, guys. The best part of the show coming up after this.